I haven't really thought too much about the hope list, whatnot. Some of your arguments are valid. I will say with Salido, this was a guy who came in overweight and fouled Lomachenko several times in that bout, which might have had something to do with him.
Well, that fight was at featherweight, and Lomachenko was a feather at the time as far as his pro accomplishments. So, of course, he was supposed to come overweight. He's supposed to break the rules.
Of course.
Since Lomachenko, what the hell he did to earn the title?
A professional, because
I'm
once you come in overweight, you don't even have a chance at the title. He actually could have won the title.
That wasn't an advantage. That was a disadvantage because he moved up in weight right away. He could no longer make the weight. It ain't like he fought at 128 because he chose to. He could no longer make the weight. That's why he struggled to make the weight. The next fight was 130 and all that. He was fighting at that weight for like 10, 20 years. So let's be honest, it was a disadvantage. And Lomachenko was a feather at the time. He haven't accomplished a thing in the pros. Salido obviously felt disrespected. And he definitely disrespected Lomachenko in the ring, hitting him in his cojones. So on to the next topic. Coincidentalist, I got Andrade number 1 because he tried to fight Saunders and Canelo. They rather fight each other. He tried to fight all these fighters from Gennady Golovkin. That fight for Dazn. I'm not even talking about across the street or what they like to call it. I like to call it, politics of boxing, but they call it across the street. I'm talking about Dazn fighters on his own network. He can't even get those fights. That's why he a fighter. Number 1 on the coincidental list. Number 2, Charlo, then Devin Haney or however. Now, man, this is a new one. Now, I got to hear this. The most feared man of the decade. Who is it, Professor Nam? From 2010 to 2020, who was it, Professor Nam?
Most feared man of the decade?
Like avoided, all of that.
I think that's... I think that's tough. I think that at one point, the boogeyman in boxing was
most mistreated fighter of the decade, Professor Nam.
You know who I got.
Who?
You know who I got.
Who that, man? You gotta tell me. Andrade.
Yeah, and part of it is his own doing and just making bad business decisions and managerial decisions, but he has been the most managed, most ill-treated boxer of this decade. He should be a superstar right now. He should be somebody that we know and is on commercials and is just part of the boxing conversation on multiple platforms. But I think everybody that I talk to tomorrow at work, I can ask about that person, about his name, and then they won't know him. I
feel like he made a couple bad business decisions, but he was also avoided. That's why I heard him, because he was trying to look for some smoke. He couldn't. He got misguided because he was looking for the smoke so much. They directed him the wrong way, so Canelo could avoid him. So I would disagree with you on that, though. Slightly.
Who you got? Who you got though?
I think the most mistreated fighter of the decade is Rigondeaux. Like, he really was mistreated. Man, they avoided the man. They had him move up 2 weight divisions to fight a Lomachenko. He had all the disadvantages. He was 10 years older, haven't fought or haven't been active, like had 2 or 3 fights for the past 4 years, while Lomachenko had 4 fights in 1 year or 5 fights in 1 year. Like I said, he was the smaller guy. They gave him a small purse of $400K. Talking about, he quit. He was supposed to quit with that purse they offered him. They talking about Lomachenko pound for pound number 1, and they gave this dude $400K? Come on, man. Now I want to shout out Rap Critic, my man.
Critic, what a
salute.
Good.
Keep schooling these delusional fanboys. Hey, man, Rap Critic, salute all day. I just dropped the number, call in. Hey, hold on. I'm going to drop the number. How you say her name?
Desiree,
Desiree, call in, because we haven't had a female call in, so obviously you got to show love to Split Decisions. But for the meantime, Rap Critic, appreciate you for donating and showing love on the super chat. It's truly appreciated. That's my man, Rap Critic. For the ones that don't know, now you know. 7. Ain't even an argument. So like I said, I'm talking about the decafs that want to argue. They keep saying I'm this and that in the comment section. That want to seek out the truth in the AkHi. That want to prove me wrong. Y'all got something to prove. AkHi undefeated. AkHi, man, he the GOAT. Because nobody want to prove him wrong on split decision. He undefeated on split decision. Professor Nam styling on y'all. He too fly. He literally is the sky. He the sky, man. Come on, stop playing with him. So I appreciate every single one of my AkHis. Obviously, I'd rather talk with a decaf just to school him for my AkHis and entertain y'all. But I love talking with my AkHis too. Obviously, to my left, in the blue corner, the man that always gets back up regardless of him getting knocked down.
Oh, you ain't never seen that. You never seen that.
So you never got dropped in split decision?
Nope. My record clean over there.
Clean? Is it cleaner than you? Clean. You sure? Is it cleaner than you?
It's just as clean.
Cause you too fresh out there. I don't know, man. You too fresh, man. I don't know. If your record that clean, you gonna be more popular than Floyd, man.
I mean, y'all let us know out there. I'm gonna leave it up to them.